Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode. Today I thought that we would do kind of a little bit of a part two from the spring fishing success that I posted last week. Y'all seem to really like that, and I enjoy doing that kind of stuff. But today I thought that we would do a little bit of like a where to fish, kind of what to look for, those sorts of things, especially down here in Kentucky. I know a lot of you northern folks are thinking about coming down here, get your musky fishing started early, and you're thinking about hiring a guide, which I would highly recommend doing. But if you're not looking to spend the extra money, save a little bit of cash. These are some things that you can look for, targeting some of the lakes down here. But before we do that, I want to go and go to the post office and see if y'all have sent any mail. If you have, I want to see that. I told y'all I would give you a shout out here on the channel. And if not, guilt you into doing so. So let's get on the road. Since the last time we talked, we've got about an additional 4 inches on top of all the ice. I've got a bunch of limbs down in my yard I've got to get cleared out at some point. I don't know if we'll do that today, but it's also the first time that we've had any sunshine in like a week. It's very exciting, and now I don't feel so depressed. But stuff's starting to clear up, and hopefully we're getting a little bit of a warm up this week. And I was at a local pond here, and like I almost could go ice fishing there. So hopefully with this warm up coming this week, the lakes and creeks start to thaw out a little bit, and we can get back on the water soon, and I can kind of put some of these tips and tricks, kind of what it looks like actually on the water. Alright folks, made it to the post office. Let's see what we got. Folks, we made it back to the house, and as you saw, I did not get any email, but that's okay. Y'all are always free to send stuff whenever, no big deal. And if you want to send fish catches, whether it be bass, musky, panfish, whatever, you want to send those and get a shout out on the channel, you can tag me in social media, and I'll leave those at the top of the description below. But go ahead and give this video a thumbs up for more fishing knowledge. And go ahead and comment down below what new lake you're going to be targeting this year in 2020. Before we get started, don't forget this Saturday at 6 p.m. I'm doing a live hangout on YouTube. Come ask questions, whatever. This month's live stream topic is musky fishing in 2021, what that's going to look like. If you're new here, I do a variety of different things on the live streams, different discussions, stuff like that. I'm thinking about having some folks on in the coming weeks, but we're trying to figure out all those details. Don't forget to subscribe, make sure the bell notifications turned on, all that good stuff. So without any further ado, let's get into today's video. Last week I talked about what lures you're going to need to be successful, and I'll link that at the very end of this video if you want to go back and look at it. So this week I thought would kind of be a part 2 to this. It's not really a series that I had planned on doing. Now the more that I think about it, I think about doing a part 3. But whatever. This week I'm going to talk about where to fish and what to look for on fishing in a new lake, breaking down a new lake, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and get my screen pulled up. So if you all are old enough to remember, maybe you are, Long before there was all these different things that you can get on these fishing finders now, you had to have an old school map. Well, it turns out those things are really hard to find nowadays. So I went looking. Honestly, I just typed in, this is Green River Lake here in Kentucky. Again, a lake that I've never fished before. I just typed in Green River Lake topographical map. And there's a few different things that I had to look for until I got what I wanted. So this information is out there. I would suggest just typing in whatever lake you want to fish, whether it's Cave Run, Green River, wherever. If you don't have the fishing technology that has all the GPS and stuff, this is a primitive way of finding those things, but also it may be a good way of just trying to scout out new places. Maybe you're fishing a bigger lake like Lake of the Woods, any of those northern lakes. This is kind of where I would start, and that's what I'm going to be doing today. Is looking at Green River. I've had my eye on it for the last few years, and I think this year I'm finally going to pull the trigger and go down there and fish it. Now, I would recommend getting in touch with folks who are familiar with the area, local pro shops, guides, stuff like that. Some of those folks are really hesitant about giving their information out about where they catch fish, which is fine. It is what it is, but some folks will actually try to be helpful. So, I got Green River Lake here, and the first thing I look at that is notorious with musky fishing is, especially in the spring, you're looking for shallow areas. You're looking for shallow areas because you're coming out of the harsh winter like we've had this year, and those fish want to get up shallow. They want to get up to the warm water. They want to get up there primarily to spawn. Now, I know like down here there is not much spawning that goes on, but they're creatures of habit, creatures of nature, and that's just kind of what they want to do. So I'm looking at Green River Lake here, and the first thing I notice is on this map is you can see that right here along the edges it has different depths. And so if you all remember Crash Mullins, I used to work for him right out of high school, and I remember that he had a video and just talking with him several different times that the key to fishing success in Kentucky in the South is 10 and in. So what he means by that, 10 foot and in of water. So right here I see 8 foot, and whatever, this is a fishing dash app, so like you can get these nautical charts on here, and the further I zoom in, the more information I get. So again, I've never fished this, but it just seems like the more I zoom in, the closer I get. So here you got 3, 4, 6, 11, and it just keeps on going out till the very middle. The one thing I will say when fishing these southern reservoirs is that they are I'm trying to think of what they call it. They're a flood control lake. So what that means is they draw these bodies of water down. So like especially in the winter is one of those, and in the spring they have different levels. So in the winter they draw it down about 6 feet. I know on Cave Run specifically, about 6 feet to try to get ahead of the curve for like runoff, like you got all the snow melting, rain showers, that kind of stuff. So let's try to stay ahead of the curve, and so they draw it down about 6 feet. So right here I would guess where it says 6 foot, 8 foot, and so on and so forth. I would dare to say that there's probably, like, this is all bare ground right here. So probably if I was going to fish Green River now, I would say right here where this says 8 foot, that's where you're probably going to start to get into a little bit of water. So pretty much what these depths are here, you minus them about 6 feet, and that'll probably get you pretty close to that that ballpark. So the 10 and in. That's kind of the rule of thumb when spring musky fishing. So I'm going to scroll around, and there was one area here that I had seen that really had piqued my interest, and maybe it's as I was looking at this, yeah, Wilson Creek. So this may, I know, that's 10 and in is the rule. So if I were to put in here at Wilson Creek, like right now considering that the water is hard, I probably wouldn't. But say after it's thawed out, if I were to put in here, I would actually probably not start having water until about this 8 foot mark. But the reason that I would target one of these areas first is because you have this whole area here, even more than that, probably right here starting at this marina, you have this whole backside of this creek that is good fishing. Like it's the more shallow water. And primarily what I'm targeting, so once I have found the water that I want to fish, the right depth, whatever, so the next thing I want to be targeting is like dead weeds. I know Cave Run specifically has a lot of weed growth there, and so you're going to have some of that die off, so the dead weeds and fish. Muskie are going to lay in that and just continue to use it like they would in the fall. Another thing that fish target is you want like a sandy bottom. And this is where your depth finders and stuff are going to come into play. Being able to see that bottom there. And I'll show you a fish. I'll throw it up on the screen and let you see. Like, I remember catching this fish, and it was just what I've been talking about. It was sandy. It was a sunny day, so that sand is going to warm up faster. And that's kind of your keys to this. So you got to have shallow water. You got to have the right kind of structure, whether it be weeds, sandy bottoms, and I think that the sunny days tend to help. It warms that water up, and so you want to target warm water in the spring, especially down here in the south. So that's definitely something I want to, maybe once the water warms up and they start holding water, that'll be definitely an area I target. But for the most part, you can see, like, so we're coming out of here. You got 30 feet right here. And then you start getting, like, I would say, like, seeing how deep these lines are, or how narrow these lines are apart, that this is pretty steep. Because, I mean, look how you go from 12 foot right here to 30 foot. And I mean, it gets even more so here, like 3 foot right here. Like, this is a pretty steep drop off right there. So this is a really steep bank. I would dare to say this is probably like a cliff or something. There was another spot I wanted to See if I can. Oh, 84 foot. I didn't want right there. That's how so right here, look at this island. Got an island right here, and you've got this like 1 foot of water right here, and you've got 29 foot of water right here. So just look at how fast of a drop off. And fish will tend, in my knowledge, tend to hover around these areas because, especially in like as the water warms up and we get closer to winter, they're going to want to get in that cooler water quicker. So that's definitely an area I would target if I was going to troll. I have been thinking about doing some trolling out of my kayak, but how fast they can get into like 29 foot. And then I bet like this is a big area where they catch fish. Just seeing that they've got shallow water on both sides and this deep water in there, I'd say they catch quite a few fish there. But yeah, so those are kind of the things that I look for: shallow water, warm water, structure, and I just, when I see this kind of these flats, like this is a gradual drop off. Actually, it's pretty steep drop off. My bad. I just think of these big flats, like right here. How, like, this is a prime example of what I'm talking about. So look how big of an area this is, and look how little it drops off. You've got these big gaps in between these contour lines, and like I just imagine like fast moving baits. I would dare to say that this is a big sand flat, gradual drop off, cranking rattle traps through here. I bet they catch a lot of fish doing so. And here, I bet this is a big trolling area, and same with over here. So so those are kind of the things that I look for when I'm targeting a new lake. I am looking forward to getting on to Green River and trying some of these tactics and some of these areas that I've shown you all. And if you all have any extra knowledge that you want to drop in the comments for other folks who may stumble across this video that are looking for help, drop those in the comments below. And kind of tell me also, what areas do you target early in the spring? And that's all, folks. Don't forget, I got the live stream happening this Saturday. I may do a kind of a part 2 to this, maybe creeks and rivers, that kind of stuff. I will say that's where I tend to shine the best. So I may do that in the future. But I am thankful for each and every one of you. If you're not subscribed, do that, comment, whatever it may be. And I'll catch you actually this Saturday on the next live stream. See you all.